Hello there. Thank you for clicking the video. It's very much appreciated. I hope you have a wonderful 2025. And today I wanted to talk about my turbulent lifestyle. Yes, because I noticed that sometimes when people notice that I am, for example, trans, that they're like, well, I already have you figured out. The caricature in my head already told you what to think of me. So, unfortunately, people depart you from me. I think it's an unfair prejudice and judgment because despite of all of my flaws, which most people don't even see, they just blindly turn an eye of hate. I just don't really understand. But then again, some people are raised in prejudice and lose that inner child, that inner joy that we'd all experience if we'd go to Christian heaven. I think I read something along those lines, right? That heaven is where we are all pure like children. And despite of my scars, despite of like the life I've gone through, I very much like figured out for myself who I am. And I'm not polyamorous. I'm not some sort of like, I'll jump anyone who I can type of person. And I think it's an unfair judgment because some people just like, they learn that I'm trans. And then it doesn't matter how many kids I'd save from buildings or how many lives I'd save with my words. They just hear, they stop listening to what I actually say and try to find a buzzword to take it out of context. Or worse, they won't even listen at all. Because some people just don't find me to be worthy of listening to. But that's not always because I'm trans. Some people who think I'm a woman automatically assume that because I'm a woman, that I don't have anything useful to say. Like, I have to admit, men aren't always being treated fairly in society, especially if you're like a sub-5 male, as they say. Because it's hard to find confidence in yourself if society deems you an evil person, you know? You watch a TV show, usually the good guy is really handsome, the bad guy, they're less handsome, and the girl is always the prize. Women are being put on pedestals. And the character really is flushed away. I don't see guys always being as selective as women, but that's someone you'd spend your entire life with. I just hope that people can be a little bit more selective in the future and don't sacrifice yourself for others. Like, by giving up yourself, you also give up so much that's unforeseen. Do you really want to be living life for someone else? And that's coming from me. Like, I have a big history of like being bullied and stuff, but I still decide to like stand up and try to fight for what's right. I've written so many songs with like deeper meanings to like inspire people and try to help people out of their like pit, because the abyss can be very dark, you know? And some people will never get out of that pit. But the earlier you start to learn to climb out of it, the earlier you'll find that sunshine that you've been looking for that shines into that pit. Even when that pit sometimes is endless for people, even when that pit sometimes doesn't have an exit, and the only form of like bliss you'll find is a temporary state of being in happiness. Because at the end of the day, happiness isn't a goal, it's a temporary state. To think you'd be happy forever and eternity, that's a deception towards yourself. So is blindly believing. Blind faith, blind judgment, blind love. It's so toxic in a manner. Then again, Sometimes it's hard to recognize those patterns. Sometimes it's really difficult to learn to understand that there's more to individuals than your scars tell you to, than your trauma bond tells you to. Sometimes people have been taught that love is hate, hate is love, and yeah. Now, some people in the comment section might be like, well, you'll never be a woman. You'll never be a woman. And to that I say, there are many perspectives to everything. There's plenty enough individuals hitting on me, both guys and lesbian identified women. So that doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Because I can biologically be one, yet legally and socially passed as the other. It's very basic knowledge to understand that individuals are maybe biologically one, while socially and legally being the other. It's just a little, look at me, I rub it in because I know basic biology. And while the only individuals were saying that trans women or trans men can be biologically the sex they identify as, are a small group of extremists pushed on top by the media onto a pedestal. And so all groups have the radicals that are pushed onto the front lines. Because if it bleeds, it leads. And the media, you think they might be there to protect the peace and warn the public, but usually the more hostile and immersive and more emotional it makes the individuals, the more they can benefit off of it and the more they can reel people in. I like to make arts to inspire and to set people free from their judgments and prejudice. Not everyone is able to see this, I understand. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people, individuals, from the so-called trans community that doesn't actually exist, because I don't really feel like there's a community at all. We're just all individuals, independent individuals. And most people I've seen pushing their narrative, they're really biased. They let themselves be led by this media complex, or they just do it to enrich themselves without enriching other people. It's okay to enrich yourself, as long as you also enrich other people. But some people don't come to give, they just come to take. They just come to take. Let that sink in, guys. Because that's also important for you to understand. I like to give. I am not perfect. I have my flaws in my past. But that doesn't define me as a character. I want to bring change, positive change. And it's not like my ideology is written somewhere on the paper that you can confirm hey, yeah, you people are PDF files, or you people are bigoted against everyone that's not homogeneous like your community is. No, I'm very much an independent individual. And despite of who I am, despite of my journey, I still want to help people, and there's still sunshine in my heart. A few days ago, I was almost stranded in Magdeburg. Right now, that's the German city where some radical extremist Muslim, which there are quite a lot of, unfortunately. If you were to go around, you know there's a practice called Hijra, but that's being enforced right now, usually followed up by jihad, historically speaking. But then again, that's not all of them. But I am saying that when there's a terrorist and a group of religious individuals who do see themselves as one entity, there might just be one terrorist, but the other 99 will be standing there saying Allah Akbar, But then again, it's a very complex issue, and there are lots of streams of beliefs. Also because many believers haven't even touched their book. unfortunately. Maybe it would enforce, or maybe it would push away. That's what you usually see, right? But there was this guy on the train, and he was working there as a staff member, and he made sure that the people who would be stranded, because it was the last train, mind you. There was one more connecting train, and because of his efforts, despite of it being East Germany and people still being very historically scarred by the events that like took place with the wall, you know, the Iron Curtain, he still made sure that everyone was safe and secure. And like to that, I would like to say thank you for giving me hope. Thank you for giving me inspiration. I almost have given up myself as well, but thanks to you, I see much more light again. Also, there's this show I've been working on, Warren. It's about me being a paranormal investigator. Like, I cast myself for that role, because why not? I always wanted to be an actress, actor, whatever. And this was my opportunity. So definitely go check that out. Look, I even have like little posters, like I made sure to come prepared to battle. But thank you for watching this video. I'm really honored for the watch time. I like to upload random types of topic videos. And sometimes that might vary a little bit, but like, for example, the last video I uploaded about the man producing his little tiles, that's very culturally enriching, and I think it should be kept in existence, you know, that knowledge. I don't think it should go lost. It's why I re-uploaded it after 3 years with English subtitles, which is absolutely wonderful. So thank you for all the love on that video. Like 20 likes, 900 views in like 4 days. That's wonderful. He also was very satisfied and happy with it. So thank you guys for the love. But yeah, there's still lots of people that like learn to know that I'm trans and they be like unsubscribing because of prejudice. Just know that I want to make this world a brighter place as well, and a better place. Because, for example, I also go out of my way to like make free projects for individuals who can't really afford it, despite of me being poor, mind you. But yeah, that's basically my life mission. I feel like I've always felt like my destiny was to help people, and I hope you allow me to. If I make it on top with directing and making movies, I'll be sure that you won't regret this. I'll make sure to remain myself. I've lived in solitude for years and years of my life, preparing myself to like be accepting of me not being able to like stop the suffering in this world, because unfortunately, I have invested myself way too much in that, and it's caused me a lot of pain throughout the years. Not just that, but yeah, it really held me back. And it might have taken away a little bit of time, but I can say with certainty that it has inspired me to also like give something back, you know. It has hardened me to a certain extent that I can still see the suffering. It still affects me in a certain sense of the word, but it's but instead of it being like a knife stab of pain and suffering, it now is the injection that gives me the adrenaline to fight against the pain and suffering. If you used to dislike trans people, I hope you can see that we're not all the same. I hope you can leave those chains out and shatter them by yourself, so you won't have to be trapped by that pain and suffering of hatred that manifests through them. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful, magnificent 2025.